Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Katherine D. Graham. I'm a USA Today bestselling fantasy author and SPFBO 9 participant who has just gotten hooked on sharing SPFBO news. And today we are here to talk about the SPFBOX or SPFBO 10 new logo and to go through the bloggers list that Mark Lawrence, the event organizer, has announced for 2024. So if you don't know anything about the Self-Published Fantasy Blog Off, I have other videos in my SPFBO News playlist that you can go check out, as well as other blogs interviewing SPFBO 9 participants, and we are getting ready to gear up for SPFBO 10. So I'll actually be doing SPFBO videos every single day for the rest of this week. So subscribe and like if you would like to see more of them, because we're getting ready to open up, we being SPFBO participants, getting ready to open up the SPFBOX SPFBO 10 submission period in just 2 days on May 10th, 2024. So I'm super excited to see who is randomly selected as a winner this year. But that is for other news later on this week. For today, we are going to really dive into who's going to be judging this year, the 100 stories that are, or 300 stories. See, I'm off a little bit. Sorry, guys. 300 stories that are picked for this competition. So this is the new SPFBO logo image that Mark has posted on Mark's site. This would be a good time for me to say that I do not work officially with SPFBO or Mark. I'm just a fellow participant. So anything that you see here is not sponsored in any way or endorsed by these blogs. I'm sharing this to support fellow participants and the bloggers who spend their time doing this, and Mark Lawrence, who is amazing in organizing this event every year. So 300 books are going to enter. There will be 10 chosen, or 10 judges, and they're going to have to come up with one champion. So I love the epic feel for SPFBOX. I'd love to hear your comments on this. I feel like this epitomizes going into this year, and I love the Phoenix in there and the big red X, because I feel like as one of the people who was knocked out of the first round of SPFBO 9, that the X is sort of like my Zorro feel. So very interested to see how it goes this year. So what we're here for, though, is to find out which bloggers who are judging this competition are coming back, which ones are new. I have linked every single blogger's website in the YouTube description if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Twitter, I'm going to have them up on the screen as well for you guys. So first, we've got some familiar blogs coming back. Fantasy Faction is coming back, and these are listed in the order that Mark has listed them on his site. Last year, I was wondering why they were in this order, and Mark came back with they are in the order of basically tenure, how long they have been around doing the SPFBO competition as a judge. So these blogs, like Fantasy Faction, usually have a group of bloggers on their team who read the books, who pick finals within their blog, and then the blog decides who they want to put up as a semifinalist, and then maybe a second choice in case there's a second choice needed for some reason later on in the competition. So they each have to read about 30 books per blog and come up with a semifinalist, which is a huge responsibility. Fantasy Faction has been here pretty much since the beginning, I believe. So they're coming back this year, as is Fantasy Book Critic. They are going to come back this year as well. I'm very interested to see who is going to be judging for these teams. Usually the teams will announce this on either their YouTube or their Twitter or their blogs. So if you're new to SPFBO and you're like, who's going to actually be reading my book? There's a high chance that these team-based blogs will let you know in advance. So you definitely want to go ahead while it's early on in the competition, give them a follow, subscribe to their channels, so that way you stay in the loop. Sometimes the bloggers release updates on the books that they've read with reviews from the very beginning when they start reading them. Sometimes you don't hear until later on, but it's just nice to have the news. And of course, I will be sharing SPFBO News weekly once the competition gets going, even if I'm not participating this year. It's my goal to start up SPFBO News weekly again and let you guys know who was cut, who's moving on, who has reviews, how many reviews are left, and things like that. Next, we have Lynn's book blog coming back with the Critiquing Chemist. So this is one team, but they combine their efforts. I guess that works 15-15 maybe. You can let me know if you're watching live. I've listed both of their blogs here for you guys. So they'll work together this year. And Esme's coming back with the Weather Wax report. Last year there were two Esmes. There was Esme Rosalind, who was on one team, and then we had Esme, who does the Weather Wax report. Both are amazing bloggers. I don't know if both are coming back this year or if Esme with Weather Wax is going to be the only Esme this year. But very excited to see what Esme thinks of this year's round of books. Before We Go blog is also back. This is one of those other team-based bloggers who was here before. And Queen's Book Asylum is also back this year. Now we're getting into our booktubers. And these are some amazing booktubers who support the indie community. Some also talk about traditionally published books. And these booktubers are definitely worth subscribing to and following, even if you don't plan on participating this year as an author, or if you're just a reader looking for good books. Philip Chase is coming back this year, as well as covers with Cassidy. Now, that pretty much sums up all the bloggers we saw from before. And this year, there are a couple new names. And I got to go look into these people a little bit. We are welcoming Kitty G Books, who is a booktuber from the UK, as well as a digital editor. She loves science fiction and fantasy. So very, very excited to see Kitty's take on basically SPFBO. I'm sure it's going to be very daunting coming in here as a single person reading these books. So I don't know if Kitty has a team that's going to be supporting them or if they're going to tackle this all on their own. But I can't not love the graphic with the cat. And you can look through their videos and their Goodreads and see sort of their preferences on books as well, just to get a feel for who they are, what they like in books, and things like that. And then finally, we have Captured in Words joining for the first time this year too, I believe, unless they've done it in the past. And me being newer to SPFBO, I don't know. So if I got that wrong, Kitty or Captured in Words, you can let us know and I will fix it in the next video. But Captured in Words is also coming on. They're a big booktuber. They have several links that you can follow, and you can also subscribe to their channel and get a feel for what they think about books. I get the feeling that Captured in Words definitely leans sort of into that epic feel just from skimming over their books that they've talked about since they joined. That it's important to note, if you are planning to participate, you're not choosing a judge. So when you sign up for SPFBO, you put your book in the ring. This year, they're going to randomly select 300 books from whoever enters the competition within the first 24 hours. And then that submission period will close. Once they pick those 300 books, they vet the books to make sure they all meet the guidelines, meaning they're all self-published, they're not traditionally published, they're a first in series, and all the other things that you can read about on Mark Lawrence's site directly, which I highly recommend you do. Tomorrow, I'm going to pull up those guidelines here on the channel as well for people who want to see it. But essentially, once the books are vetted and they've got their final 300 chosen, the bloggers then go through and are assigned the books, and then they make sure that there's no conflicts of interest, or at least that's how it's been in the past. So if you have a relationship, like someone has edited your book on the judging team, or maybe your friends, then sometimes the books can bounce around. So just because a book is assigned to a blog doesn't mean that that's where it's going to end. I would give it a few days to see, and I will be filling everybody in on how that goes. The competition officially starts June 1st, but the submissions are going to open May 10th, and they will only be open for 24 hours. So definitely mark your calendar, bookmark Mark Lawrence's site so you don't miss anything. As I said at the beginning, I will be back every day for the rest of this week with different aspects of SPFBO news. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about the submissions how that process went last year versus how it's supposed to go this year. And I will pull up Mark's site and show you the guidelines and give you the link so that you can go to Mark's site and get prepared yourself. And then also we're going to talk about the launch day. On launch day, the 10th, and Saturday, I'll be back with the answer to the question for everybody who's wondering who won SPFBO 9. So I'll be introducing the finalists, talk a little bit about their books since I've read almost all of them at this point. Not reviewing them, but I will be talking a little bit about them and show who won last year's SPFBO 9 competition. So thank you all for being here. Please give the video a like and subscribe if you would like to see more. There's an entire SPFBO News playlist on my channel on YouTube. And you guys and your support means the world to me. I'm not paid to do these videos. Right now, these videos are not monetized. I'm just doing this for fun as a fellow writer. So thank you for being here and supporting indie books. Take care, everybody. Bye.